You're going to want to listen to this podcast.
You're about to listen to the What Everyone Was Thinking podcast. Buckle up.
All right, thank you. Thanks for tuning in to What Everyone Was Thinking. I'm Sam. This is my co-host, Seth.
What's up?
We are just two guys discussing what we're observing in the world, and we hope that we're saying what everyone's thinking, but of course, because this is America,
That's right.
you have the freedom to disagree. So this is our first episode ever, so I'd like to introduce Seth. And Seth, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
What's up, guys? I'm Seth. I'm originally from the great state of Nebraska. Go Big Red. Lived in Colorado most of my life, though. I have a beautiful wife I've been married to for 20 years, 3 beautiful daughters. Some of the things I like to do outside of work or podcasting, since we're podcasters now.
This is your new hobby.
Podcasting is my new hobby. Anything outdoors, hiking, camping, all things firearms. I love to shoot. And my favorite thing about America would be our freedom, just freedom in general, freedom to do things like this and be okay with people agreeing and disagreeing with you. So that's probably one thing I love about this country.
Yes. And that was, I gave a list of questions, and that was the last one, is what is your favorite thing about America? Because we need to appreciate it.
That's right.
One thing, did you mention that you smoke meat?
I do. I did not, but I love barbecue too. That's another one of my favorite things.
That's my favorite thing about you.
All things barbecue.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah.
All right. Well, my name is Sam, and I have a wife, and I made that happen. And
Score.
And I have 2 daughters, ages 4 and 6. My 4-year-old's getting ready to turn 5, so they'll be 5 and 6, and they are a blast. They have a ton of energy. My hobbies, I like to just hang out. I like to smoke some cigars.
Nice.
That's probably one of my biggest hobbies, and a lot of cool culture with that, some cool people involved. And I like to play some video games when I have time. I like to play Red Dead Redemption. I told you about that.
Yep.
Where you can...
Sam's a cowboy at heart.
I'm a cowboy in that game, that's for sure. But yeah, and my favorite thing... Oh, yeah, you said you were from Nebraska, and I didn't say where I was from. I'm from the great state of Ohio. The Ohio State University. But anyway, my favorite thing about America, I'd have to echo your sentiment, but it is the freedom, and it's just the appreciation that no matter what happens, we have a document, the Constitution.
That's right.
That guarantees our freedom, and I do love that. So, let's move on. So since this is our first episode, we won't do this every time, but I feel like a little bit of explanation is in order. So the purpose of this podcast, number one, it's to have fun. I want to have some fun, blow off some steam, just create a fun, entertaining place, like some entertaining content to people who have kind of lost some faith in humanity. And what I think you and I would call objective reason.
That's right. Objective reason.
So there's going to be maybe some pushback with some viewers that we might not know, but again, this is America. We're going to speak our mind, and we're going to post this on different platforms, and
right.
There'll be comment sections. We'll be able to read all those fun comments that are disagreeing with the objective reason.
And that's what it's there for.
That's what it's there for.
We want to see the comments. We love the feedback.
Yeah, so that's the purpose, restoring a little bit of faith in humanity. I think there's a group of people out there that grew up in a society where there were objective values and just some virtues that everybody, no matter what kind of like side of the aisle you were on, that everybody kind of agreed on. Right. And that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So this is a fun place to do that. So 2 guys discussing topics. We're going to be giving some ideas and some opinions using that good old-fashioned traditional logic and reasoning, and not professional analysis.
No.
Because the disclaimer, we have to say this legally, that we are not doctors.
We are not licensed doctors.
We're not licensed doctors. So the legal team told us we have to say that.
They were adamant about
Yes.
that.
So today's sponsor is Seth's Barbecue.
Seth's Barbecue is today's sponsor.
Oh my gosh.
We have a long list that we could pull from, but that's where we started with today.
Yeah. And Seth is joking because we don't have a sponsor yet, so that's a plug. We're taking applications.
Yes.
Currently. So
Absolutely.
okay. So with this being the first episode, we're not really ashamed to point out the fact that we're just jumping into this and figuring things out. I mean, when did I text you that I was like, hey, we should do this?
I believe, if I can remember, it was yesterday.
It was at least
At least maybe 2 days ago.
So today is Saturday. Oh yeah, happy New Year's Eve.
Yes.
This is New Year's Eve that we're filming this.
This might be the best podcast of 2022.
It's definitely the last
Yeah,
one.
this is definitely the best and last podcast of 2022.
So I think I text you Wednesday.
Yeah.
And this is Saturday.
Yep.
So the fact that we've put this together is kind of amazing. So we both believe that speaking your mind is important. I did write on here. I said, like, not a lot of people have exist in this space, like where we're at. Because I mean, our goal is not to make this like the political podcast. Although you and I are both politically conservative.
Yes.
We're not going to apologize for that.
No.
Although it seems like sometimes people feel the need that they have to apologize. Unapologetically conservative.
Yeah.
But that's not the point
Nope.
of this podcast. Just because we are conservative doesn't mean we're trying to cram that in anybody's cram hole.
Right.
So, so one thing I do like about you, Seth, is that you do speak your mind, and anybody that follows you on social media would see that you do that.
I do that often.
So that's one of the reasons I was excited to do this podcast with you. And so don't turn this episode off just because we're conservative. If you don't lean that way, why don't you just stick around, listen, and see if.
And not every episode is going to have a political tone to it anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff where
That's a good point.
It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you sit on. We all, everyone's going to have an opinion about something, and everyone thinks certain things, and not everybody says it, but that's what we started a podcast, because we're going to talk about what everyone's thinking.
Hopefully what everyone's thinking. Yeah, so kind of one of the goals is hopefully we can restore just a little bit of common decency. Just a little bit, like restore a little bit of that common agreement that, people are good and they should be good. And yeah. So ready for today's topic?
Let's hear it, man. What do you got?
So, all right, there was a lot of different topics we could have chose for our first episode, but this one I chose clickbait.
Clickbait.
So give me that bassy
clickbait.
I don't possess that lower register.
You're gonna want to listen to this podcast.
That proximity effect, that's awesome. So anyway, I'll read this. Do you want to read that definition?
You go for it.
Okay, I'll do it. So clickbait, it's a noun.
Person, place, or thing.
On the internet, in parentheses, it says, content whose main purpose is to attract attention and encourage visitors to click on a link to a particular web page. So, this topic can go a lot of different places. And, I don't think my point is that clickbait isn't inherently bad, because everybody uses it. I mean, obviously you want to come up with a catchy title for your video. You want to bait people into clicking on your content.
Right.
So, businesses use it, churches use it, content creators use it. But here's what I get a little worked up about. My thing is that I feel like clickbait can be a negative thing, and it can target weakness. It targets your weakness, my opinion. So here's a list. So anybody who might be struggling to understand what clickbait is, I looked up rocketcontent.com. This is like a website, I think it helps creators come up with like creative titles. Well, it helps them come up with clickbait.
Right.
I don't think that's what the entire website is for, but
Main reason.
it helps people generate good
Right.
content. So, and so I'm going to read some of these. Seth, you let me know if you've heard any of these or seen any of these on social media. Number one, you'll never believe. So this is like you'll never believe this simple method that eliminates belly fat,
Right.
something like that. Number two, X things you need to know. So X would be like a number, like 7 things you need to know about smoking barbecue.
Right.
So that's the hook. Number 3, this weird trick. This weird trick increases the conversion rate of all of our landing page and 110%. That's the example given. I'm kind of skimming through here. This is copied directly from rocketcontent.com. Number 4, this is what happens this is a good one. So this is what happens if you stop worrying too much about SEO. So obviously all these examples are geared towards like content creators. So, but I mean, like, this is what happens if you stop taking showers.
Right.
So, all right. And then number 5, it says the X best. So that would be like a number as well. X would be a number, like the 7 best, I don't know, ways to smoke barbecue.
Stop taking showers. The 7 best ways to stop taking showers.
Yeah. So my first thought when I read this list is, number 1, like, I've seen these,
Right.
like everybody's seen these, and there's more than this list. I mean, clickbait is really just anything that's like ridiculous and makes you want to click on it. But my second thing is, like, since this is so like well known, like who's falling for this? Like, who's clicking on them?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of that depends on like what I think of my girls, and I think of like the people like their acquaintances with, like, you'll see them post on social media about how they reshared this thing about someone's shoes, because if they reposted it, they'd get this discount. But even though everyone knows they're not going to get this 50% off discount if they repost this. But
Right.
that age group believes that, hey, if I do this, I'm going to get 50% off these new Nike Dunks, and I'm going to be able to go out and buy
Yeah.
these shoes for half price. When in all reality, you're just creating more content for them through your platforms and your friends' platforms, because you tag whatever it is, 20 people with that post too.
Yeah. I mean, and is that necessarily bad? No.
Yeah.
Because I think that we're just trying to stimulate some conversation here about
Right.
the topic. And, again, not trying to say that clickbait is bad, but, again, like, it obviously works.
Oh yeah. Works.
I mean, it works. And to me, I've kind of had a bit of a disdain for social media. Like, I don't love getting on it,
Yeah.
frankly. Like, that's not my first thought
Right.
to like it. Like, even like when Instagram first started, and like it was like literally everybody's first idea was to like take a picture of their food.
Right.
Like, that was like bizarre to me.
Right.
Like, it never like appealed to me, like, or it made me think like, oh yeah, like everybody needs to see this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
My favorite is the weather updates on everyone's stories, because it's like, oh yeah, I live 5 blocks away from you. It's snowing over here too.
That's great.
I think I actually put something on my story this week about I can't wait to see everyone's weather updates, even though we live in the same state.
Hey, we all have AccuWeather. Okay.
Yeah, we all have AccuWeather, and our phone tells us it's gonna snow.
You're shocked.
Oh wow, it did snow over there.
Yeah.
Like, I was surprised,
Oh my
because
goodness.
Doppler lets us down so often.
Right. So, I think the clickbait, I mean, it a lot of times, like, it preys on, like, I thought that was a good point about, like, I didn't really, even when I was putting this together, I didn't even think about the fact that, like, the like and share this and you might get a pair of shoes or
Right.
something like that. Like that. I mean, that's totally like preying on people's, like, they want like the golden geese.
Yep.
Is that it?
That's what it's called. I don't know what it means. But
Golden.
yeah.
All the
People want the golden goose.
if we happen to get even one Gen Zer on this, they're gonna be like, he's such an idiot.
My daughters will listen. That's what we got.
Okay,
we got 3.
Oh my. So there we go. So, but I mean, I think people are curious. A lot of those, I think, are. Here's one of the negative things about it, and I think people will read do this really cool thing and you can up your credit score.
Right.
Have you seen those?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like double your credit score with these 3 awesome tactics or something like that,
Right.
which is totally false. Like there's no people. I think people want a quick fix.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's one of the negative things about this is I think the more of these titles that are out there, these clickbait titles, it plays into the culture of people wanting like a shortcut to get rich, or they want a shortcut to lose weight, or they actually fall for the lie that there's like a shortcut to success.
Right.
And that's one of the main problems I have with the clickbait is because it plays into that sense of like entitlement, or that sense of
You don't.
yeah, I think it's toxic.
Almost like you don't have to try anymore to get something.
Right. And I think if we had less of that, more people would learn those values. And I think this plays into and I think this is going to be a common theme with our podcast, is just talking about things that used to be a commonplace. Like I think when you were a kid and I was a kid, like our parents taught us to work hard, and they said like, if you want that, you just need to work hard for it.
Right.
Now you look at these clickbait titles, it says, if you do this, this, and this, you can get it quick, or there's a shortcut to that.
Right.
And I think that's a problem.
It is a problem. I think it instills a false sense of reality, especially I keep relating things back to the younger generation just because I have a 18, a 17, and a 14-year-old. Sorry, wow. Taylor, if you're not 14. But anyways, 3 girls, that's their age range.
Yeah.
Between 19 and 13.
Yeah, we'll just give a range.
There you go. Because I relate everything to them. And yeah, I mean, just that false sense of, and they also look and see what like their mom and dad have, and they think, I think me and Heather have done a good job at like showing them that nothing we have came overnight, right? So it's, it's not like I was, teaching them the clickbait technique as they were growing up, but just with their phones and their attention spans are so short now because every video they watch is 30 seconds. It's going to be hard to get this podcast down to 30 seconds for them to watch it.
I'll trim it. I'll take one word from every sentence that we do.
But yeah. So yeah, I think like you said, I think our generation was a little different. We played outside. We were with our friends. Our parents didn't want us in the house till the streetlights were on or whatever.
And you're a little older than me,
bit.
But I think because my parents are older, I don't necessarily even fit in my age group as far as how values were represented to me.
Yeah.
And I think like my question, and I know this is even almost a little off topic, but like when did that drop off? You know what I mean? Like as a society, like when you were younger, there's very few people like that their parents weren't teaching them the same thing. Now we have, I'm just curious. Maybe that's a whole different podcast episode. I don't know, but like, you get what my question is?
Yeah.
Like at what point did that not become common?
Well, in my opinion, I think it came in. I think parents started being less present. So kids started not necessarily raising themselves, but teaching themselves.
Well, and media.
Right.
I mean, I think that might actually answer the question.
Right, because we had phones, but they did this.
Yeah.
And you couldn't access information like they can. And so they don't, my daughters don't need me to answer a question for them.
Yeah.
They can get the
They'll
answer.
Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like we were like, Mom or Dad, what's this?
Yeah.
You know,
So, that's a good point. Yeah, because that's a great point. Like,
or it was like, go look in the encyclopedia.
Yeah. Hey, Spanky, go over there and get the
Go
get that.
that long row of books in the office. Yeah, that long row of maroon books with the golden leaf in the office. Go look in there for your answer.
Yeah, from my dad, that was right next to the Jimmy Swaggart commentaries. So
yeah, I think those days are just gone, and I think.
Can we get back to it?
Well, I mean, I think we can, but I think one thing that drives a lot of parents to be less present is they are just working. Like some people created a lifestyle to where both people have to work so much because they have to have X amount of income to be able to live the life they want, which keeps them away from living the life they probably really want to live.
Yeah. That's good. Well, I mean, I think there's a lot there. I think we can even talk about it in another episode. But, back with this, like, we're talking about like how there's no shortcut for hard work. I mean, people, and this is another point. I think people, they want to feel like they're different, they're unique, or they're like an exception to the rule. Right. Like, because then I think that's what stems from like the get rich quick schemes. I think it's because someone wants to circumvent, but they also think like, well, I know those 10 people worked hard for it,
right?
But I am smarter, or I have like found the
trick.
Yeah. It's like, have you ever met like those guys that are like, I'm just trying to find an investor for my good idea.
Right.
Like it is like they think that they're contributing just themselves to the thing.
Idea.
You're like, I'm gonna get like people that are gonna invest thousands into my. I've met a couple people like that where they're like, yeah, I'm just looking for the right people, to buy into this idea, and then it's like, then it's gonna take off.
This is it. This is the idea.
I'm gonna make millions off of this. Right. Like, they don't have to raise any capital other than. And don't get me wrong, there are certain ideas that can do that. I'm not discouraging anybody from that, but it's like. That's the exception, not the rule.
You better have a good business plan.
Yeah. and maybe some money.
What have you invested so far? Wait till you hear this idea.
I'm investing in the idea.
Yeah, this idea is going to blow your mind.
Just wait until you hear the idea. Listen. So clickbait, I think another thing about clickbait and just this whole topic is like, I think nowadays people's brains, I don't mean this to be offensive, I just like, and this is some hyperbole, but like people's brains are jelly.
Right.
Like I think we've dropped our standards of what is like socially acceptable. Like people used to have to work hard to get views or get viewership.
Right.
Now you can poop in a bucket and someone thinks it's awesome and you're viral.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Like that, it's just, there's no creativity. There's like, I even think of like actors and actresses in like the 50s.
Right.
They didn't just act. They could sing.
Oh yeah.
They could play.
Dance.
They could play. Yeah. They could dance. Like they had the whole package. And the modern people I think of like that is like Justin Timberlake. He's like one of those people. Like he can act. He can do, like, he's like a modern day, like Ricardo, I forget what his last name, from I Love Lucy, you know what I mean? Like that's, but like he's worked his butt off to be, to develop and hone his talent. But I think there's this whole concept of like people's brains being jelly is just like people can just get spoon fed this like really just moronic content.
Oh yeah.
Like
watered down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said before, I think a lot of that comes from just not having to know things, because you don't have to know anything anymore, because it's literally in the palm of your hand. And my daughters tell me all the time, like, well, like I watch Jeopardy every day, and they're like, how do you know all these? And it's like, I'm like, I grew up watching Jeopardy. Like it's not like they ask the same questions every episode, but I think training your brain to know information and to retain information is so crucial to being able to know things. But this day and age, you don't have to know anything. You could literally, you could go to a place you've never been before in your life and within 10 seconds, know where you're going to eat, know how you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you could talk to a person you don't even know because you have Google Translate.
Right.
I mean, it's not going to be a conversation like this, but
No.
I mean, you can communicate.
Yeah. They could just say into your phone and show it to them, and they're going to know what you're asking.
Back in the day, you had to bring the little, the book.
The translator.
And there's word for word.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
All you needed to know was where the bathroom was, because that was crucial.
Yo tengo baño.
Yo tengo baño.
But, yeah, so I think standards have just kind of dropped. I mean, I would love to see, I mean, and don't get me wrong, here's the thing. I don't want to sound like this, like doomsday, like pessimistic person. The world has gone to hell in a handbasket kind of thing. Because I think there are creators out there and there's people that are working hard and they're doing it.
Right.
And they're making that content. Like they're like, I use that like Justin Timberlake. I mean, like whether you like him or not, like I think most people just acknowledge he's super talented.
Right.
He can do it all. And there's others like him, but there's fewer like him. And I think, and I even see YouTube creators that like put a ton of work into their content, but I also just see people that just, they flip their hair.
Oh yeah.
And
count rice.
And they're literally put on the same level as like a Justin Timberlake or like insert other YouTuber that makes legit content. It's
kind of funny though, because like if you watch someone that is like has figured out how to create the good content and has a natural growth to their content versus like someone that is just sitting there counting grains of rice.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the comments on the weird stuff is all hate. Like they're just so, like I can't imagine being one of those creators doing that, reading everyone's comments and like being done saying like, oh, I feel good about myself. Like that went well. Like there's so much hate speech coming across.
But they it's almost those people, they've just realized though, if like all attention is like good attention to them.
Right.
Because they are getting the views. Yep. And what I wish there was more of a public understanding of is that every time that person leaves that hate comment or that's a view that like you're actually supporting them.
Oh yeah.
And what you're doing is you're encouraging dumb content.
Oh yeah.
I wish there was more of a public coalition, so to speak, like to just ignore that stuff.
Right.
And don't give it a platform, don't give it place.
Right.
Because now it's encouraging more people. Someone's like, you made how much money on that video counting rice?
Right.
Yeah, all these people, these idiots just watch it.
Right.
And they just comment, they hate me.
They hate it.
I love how much they hate me because the more they hate me, the more money I make.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's insane.
Oh yeah.
If people realize that, and I think that's the whole, like the brain is jelly, like, they are really like, they get worked up about it. And I fall for it too, frankly.
Oh, yeah.
Frankly, like I'm like, if I see something so stupid, I watch it 3 times. And then I go show Kelsey.
Yeah, look at this.
Look how dumb this is.
You're never going to believe this.
And then we watch it a couple times. And then I text it to 4 people. And I say, look how dumb this was.
Yeah.
But like, I'm the moron that supported it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, why can't we do better?
And then if you're on TikTok and you've done that, now it's on your For You page. So every time you get on, you're like, here's this idiot again doing this. And it's kind of funny because they're like, my For You page is full of the weirdest stuff. And it's exactly for that reason. It's because I sit there and I'm like, I can't believe this guy does this. Whether it's singing off tune through an auto tuner or the guy that counts rice.
Yeah.
Or just people. Like there's a guy that kicks himself in the head jumping off the stairs. And it's just like people watch it and watch it and watch it. And it's just like we all get sucked into it.
Well, and I think some of the pushback we may get for this is like, just let them do their thing.
Right.
Like why are you trying to take money out of their pocket?
Right.
Like they're just doing, like, that is the American dream. But like, to me, I think if we don't draw lines somewhere, because I don't hate those people. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care about you. Like that sounds terrible.
Right.
But like, I don't really care that you're doing that. I just, there's like, here's one. Do you know about this little kid? His name's Ryan. and he started a YouTube page where he just opens toys.
Oh yeah, the toy review kid.
He's worth like millions.
Wasn't he the highest grossing income earner on YouTube 2 years ago?
We could look it up and we could see, but yes, I think it was something like that. If not the most, he made time. He made like, even if he made $1 million, which is a small fraction of what he actually made, I would still want to throw up.
Right.
But we go to the store. This kid's on YouTube.
Right.
We go to the store and the girls know who he is, and his crap is on the shelves at Walmart. You can buy these little mystery bags, like these things. Like he's got figurines.
Ryan's mystery toys.
Yes, like
nice.
And on one hand, I'm like, good for that kid,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm like, what did he do?
Nothing.
He opened toys. He did nothing. Like, so I'm not trying to say the kid has no talent, because maybe he does, but like, I think what he's actually doing and what people are affirming, and like people are just like, he just racked up hundreds and really just millions and millions of views.
Right.
So,
and I think a lot of stuff with that too is like when he started, the algorithm could have been different then, and that's what blew him up.
mm-hmm.
And now he's just created this YouTube empire off of right time, right place, right?
Yeah, and I don't really know. I don't know for sure, but I think he may be on a television network now.
Nice.
Like he has a full studio where they film the videos. They've hired a full production crew. Like his production value now, like again, like that could be literally any kid. Like literally swap him with any other kid, and it's the same thing. Like he doesn't. And I'm not trying to dog on him. I'm just saying like there's nothing special.
Yeah.
Like good for him that he made the money, but I'm just saying like he brings nothing to the table,
right.
Like other than just being there.
A toy review.
Like you said, right place, right time.
Yeah.
They stumbled upon this cash cow.
Right.
And so.
Well, it's the same with like the barbecue world, right? So I have a barbecue IG page, and there's people that create content that have been creating content for years, but I think when Instagram and all those things were becoming popular, they were there for the right algorithm. So they didn't necessarily grow organically. I mean, they grew through an algorithm that they thought was organic, but now people try so hard to grow their pages that, sometimes having true authentic content is so much better than non-authentic content, because it's just a better product, even though you have a less chance of growing because you're not pushing a product. You're not saying like this knife is the best knife to use for this cutting this piece of meat. There's people that out there that have gone from the passion of just cooking good barbecue and filming it to now it's a chore because they're trying to create content for all these 18 different sponsors they have, because they've agreed to, in order for me to get this free shaker of all-purpose rub, I got to create all these posts for you. There's companies out there that don't require that create a great product, but you don't feel pressured to create this content that creates a clickbait, because now you've gone from being a barbecue content creator to you're trying to clickbait this product for barbecue, and now all your content is not authentic because 90% of it is you showing this certain type of something.
Yeah. And I think too, that's like, if I'm saying anything like to our potential viewers, which hopefully we build something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's to start changing our intentions as we even view social media, because I think if people were actually looking for good content,
Right.
because we 100% just get spoon fed.
Oh yeah.
Like that, like you said, that For You page is a spoon feed system where you're like baby in the high chair,
Oh yeah.
boom boom in the diaper,
Yep.
and you're just getting spoon fed crap.
Oh yeah.
But like there's creators that are you shouldn't have to be an expert in SEO, or you shouldn't have to be an expert in hashtags. Or, I mean, who knows? I know like all the rules are changing all the time, but you shouldn't even have to keep up with that. Like, shame on the social media platforms for not just favoring quality content. Because why would you want to dilute? You know, but at the same time, like, there's so many ways we can go with this conversation.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously, the more people that are posting content, the better.
Yeah.
So if you favor brainless stuff, more people can create brainless stuff than talented stuff.
Correct.
So you can cast much of a wider net.
Right.
You can, and so I get it. It's like all business. It's just like, where can you manage that tension, that line? Because you were talking about it, like Traeger just went public, right?
Last year, yeah, or 1 or 2 years ago, yeah.
And you're seeing how the company's now shifted from being quality, not necessarily quality, but just like instead of like listening to like the people who actually use Traegers, they're working towards a bottom line for investors.
Yeah,
and for
I feel like any company that goes from privately owned to all of a sudden your shareholders or what matters, I think you always lose that certain sense of quality and attention to detail. I just think that comes with any company. And yeah, I mean, I cook on a lot of Traegers. I have a lot of Traegers in here.
Yeah. Well, I will insert B-roll shot of all the Traegers. If you guys could see the majesty that is Traeger behind these cameras right now.
And I remember when I got my first Traeger, it was, the thing's a workhorse, and I still use it probably more than I use the new giant Timberline XL.
It has all the bells and whistles on it, yeah.
And
it gives you like a foot massage while you're cooking.
If you stand close enough.
Yeah,
if you stand on the Traeger mat, it massages your feet while you cook.
That's good.
That was a new
that was a must.
Not sponsored by Traeger, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, not sponsored. We are not sponsored by Traeger.
Not sponsored by Traeger. But just like I remember calling in before and getting customer service when my old Traeger would the heat rod or something would go down, like they could help you fix it, and it would be fixed, like you would fix it.
They'd make it right
immediately. Yeah, they'd make it right. Or now it's like you go through 19 different people, and then there's another. Oh, let me get you to this manager that can help with this thing. It's like
press 1 for English.
Right. Yeah. It's just been almost a nightmare now from what it used to be. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I get it. People want an outlet where they can just brainlessly scroll, because you want to unplug your brain.
Right.
Like, people want to do that, but I mean, you had a long day at work. You just want to sit on the couch and you just want to scroll.
Right.
I get it. But I don't think people realize that when we do that, and we all do it, we totally do it. I mean, nobody here is an exception. I'm not trying to like be on a high horse here.
I do it.
Yeah. But when we do that, we literally just drop our guard.
Oh, yeah.
We drop our entire guard of like, because it, how often do we do that? And like, you're like, holy crap, it's been an hour.
Yeah.
And I've just sat here swiping. I mean, that might even be conservative for some people.
On the toilet.
On the toilet.
I'd get up, but I can't feel my legs.
Might as well just
keep scrolling.
Might as well just keep scrolling until I feel my toes. Oh my gosh! But but they're kind of counting on you doing that,
right?
And the more just crap they can put in front of you, the more they can use it to just leverage, whatever. I mean, and it just seems like anybody and everybody can do a commercial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you see these commercials now, it's literally a selfie like style video.
Right.
And this may be a side tangent, but so I was on Facebook the other day, and this kind of speaks to just general accountability of like logic and like reason. So the video starts off, it's this lady, she goes, is it normal to have $1,000 car payment, or am I just broke? Number one, like My problem isn't even with that statement, which I think is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Right.
Because the fact that it's like, I don't even know what that video was taken from or where she was going with that, because that already speaks to like that clickbait. Like you hear $1,000 car payment, or am I broke? Like, it's just like a statement that gets you going like, oh, what is she talking about?
Right.
Like, but then it cuts, and I think it's called a stitch. What do you call it when it's like you let somebody's video play and then you take over and now it's your video?
I think it's called a stitch.
Okay. I heard that somewhere and I thought that was right.
We heard that on social media.
I really can't wait for the Gen Zers to just realize.
We heard that on the Twitter.
And actually, it's one of my jobs to manage social media where I'm at. So anyway, so it goes to this guy, and he's, just a normal dude. Like he's like maybe on a farm or something, like getting in his truck, and he's just like selfie video. And he goes, I think he says something about that, like, that's way too much money, but here's how much I pay for car insurance.
So it all of a sudden turned into a car insurance ad?
Yes.
Nice.
So, I mean, same family,
Right.
maybe, but I'm like, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way that's acceptable.
Right.
Like, there's no way that I'm going to go to the comment section and people are going to just like be okay with this.
Switching my insurance.
Yeah. That's what it is. I go there and people are like, yeah, my insurance, you pay $50 for insurance, blah, blah, blah. Like they're talking about insurance. I scroll for minutes
Oh my word.
to find one comment that says like, is anybody going to acknowledge
That lady's car payment is $1,000?
that's for starters. But then also it's like, are we going to acknowledge the fact that like he just piggybacks on a lady singing about her car payment.
Right.
And now he's talking about car insurance. I'm like, I shouldn't get outraged about something so trivial.
Right.
But like, to me, it's just like a microcosm of like part of the problem I'm seeing.
Oh, yeah.
Like nobody's like intellectually trying to be consistent or like hold people accountable. Be like, actually, wouldn't it make more sense if you would have just done the whole video? Like, what did her video even add to your video?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like but people are just like allowing it.
Yeah.
It's just, and mainly it is because everybody has a voice. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like if you have a phone, you have a voice.
Right.
Like you can put your crap out there along with everybody else's crap. And it's the same crap as like
Yeah.
Comedy Central or ABC. Like they all have an equal voice on Facebook. Like literally everybody, I mean, we can talk about suppression, but like in theory,
Let's not do that in the first episode.
not in the first episode, but in theory, like everybody just like can throw their stuff out into the ether, and then it's just amazing to see what sticks and what doesn't stick, So anyway, yeah, like I was even going to say along with that, like I'm surfing through Facebook another time and I see an ad and I'm like, that guy looks familiar. And it turns out it's a buddy of mine from college. He's just doing like a random ad for the Chime credit card. I'm like, man, he looks so familiar. And then like I'm like trying to convince myself it's not him, but I'm like, it's unmistakably that it's this dude. And I go find his Facebook and there's a bunch of Chime stuff on his timeline. I'm like, how did that happen?
That's hilarious.
So Dan Matthews, shout out to you.
Good job, Dan. Way to go. You made it.
He's there.
We're just going to chime in.
We're just going to chime in with this one real quick.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Not sponsored by Chime, but Dan is.
Well, the other thing, too, I think that really sucks people in clickbait-wise is buying stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to the point where now, like, there's forums on social media pages that say what TikTok made me buy or what Instagram made me buy. And so it's like, well, they created a page off of something that they came up with to market, their social media, and they got people to buy it so much, in fact, that they actually made Instagram pages about you buying their product that they've pushed on their social media pages. So I think clickbait.
How many layers deep can it go?
Oh,
it's like Inception.
And I've done it. Like I've bought things where I was like, that looks awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm buying that.
For sure. I mean, like I watch a lot of creators like I was telling you about Peter McKinnon. He's a photographer, like does video, like cool B-roll. Like he'll include in the description like this is what's in my camera bag.
Right.
And it's like you just go look, and then he's got all the affiliate links to
Right.
where he can. Which honestly, that's an example of I think that's like good, but it's not like.
Well, and there's some people that whether they want to do that or not, they might have to because they're owned by those companies.
Yeah. Yeah, he may be obligated
Right.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, last thing I'm going to rant about, the game ads. You ever see the game ads?
Like gaming ads?
So, it would be like an iPhone game or like an Android game. Like you can get it on the Play Store or the Apple Store.
Like the free version when you're playing it like once you level up, you have to watch 2.5 minutes of
Well, number one,
Candy Crush.
They'll show like a game.
I think I know what you're talking about.
They're playing the game like it's a representation of what the game is.
Yeah.
But they're playing it intentionally wrong.
Oh yeah. Like I've seen the one where the dude's like in all these different cells and you have to pull these rods out and like either the water falls and drowns them or like lets a bear in and attacks them.
He's murdering the character.
Like, you're like, I wouldn't pull that rod. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So that is a form of clickbait to me, and it drives me insane.
You're like, I got to play this game.
Like, I'll show them how to really play the game. This creator's an idiot. He can't even play his own game.
Right.
I'm like, so yeah, there's like the one where like you start with like one guy and then you're walking down this like bridge, but like there's like two windows that you can go through, like two little gates you can go through, and one of them may say +5,
right.
and one of them says times 30. He walks through the +5
right
instead of the times 30. Because the point is like to multiply your guy.
Yeah, right.
You know, like you walk through that and now there's +5. Now you have 6 guys. And then there's another 2 windows and then there's 2 things, but they'll walk through the wrong one.
You're right.
Almost every time, just so you're like, no,
Yeah.
don't do that.
There could have been 31 of us.
Exactly.
There's only 6.
Exactly. So that's just a small rant, but I know that there's people out here because we're supposed to say what everyone's thinking.
That's right.
And I know that there's other people who have seen those game ads and it has driven them insane.
And it's the people that click on them that start playing that game, but only make it to the 3rd level because then they have to pay for it.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So we're kind of wrapping up here, but we need to just talk a little bit about social media. I mean, I don't know how it's all about the clicks because it's not, like we said, it's not only businesses and organizations that use clickbait. It's just people trying to promote their only brand, which is themselves.
Right.
And, you know, seems like everybody today is an influencer. Like you can have 1,000 followers,
right.
and like you may even start referring to yourself as an influencer.
I'm an influencer.
I'm a social media influencer. I don't know if you knew this. I'm kind of a big deal.
I got 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
999 are pending, but
oh my. But, you know, so people use a variety of tactics to get people to watch their videos. Like some of them I've seen, I mean, like some of the obvious are just nasty, like, well, I don't want to say nasty girls, but it's like just girls like showing their cleavage, showing like really like objectifying their body because they feel that's the only way they're going to get. I don't even think it's just even attention. I think they're trying to, like, I don't know if they're chasing fame or they're this, or they want to go look at the comment section and get affirmed about their body. I mean, I'm sure that backfires on tons of people.
probably more of that than the opposite.
And it's not even girls too. I mean, like men do it too. Like if they think that they're in shape. I mean, what's really funny though is some of the guys that are like bean poles. That have you ever scrolled across the video that it's like some dude, like some skinny dude. He's probably 80 pounds soaking wet in a wife beater, and he's like, "What would you do if I broke into your house?" Like,
yeah, I have seen those ones.
Those are hilarious. Because if it's like a jack, I mean, the answer's the same either way. I'm going to shoot you.
I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah, but
You could be a lot bigger than that. And I'm still gonna shoot you.
Yeah. Like, what would you do if I broke into your house? Like, that's such a see again. That's like a dumb. That's just such a dumb question that just like people. But like then people like why one person made that video and now there's thousands.
Oh yeah.
There's thousands of people that are like
do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I agree.
Have you ever seen videos where it's somebody just lip syncing somebody else's audio?
No.
You haven't seen this? My gosh, what part of social media am I going down? But and I'll say this in hopes that maybe at least one other person has experienced. But it's like
there's one more of you out there. I know there is.
But I feel like these videos are super popular and I can't run from them. They're on my For You page somehow. But
because you always watch them.
No, I don't though. In the beginning I did.
Yeah.
And then I started realizing that I was contributing to this problem. But now, if it's clear to me, but like literally, it's somebody talking.
Right.
And the original video might have been funny, but if you click on the audio, you can see hundreds of videos of people that are just appropriating the audio from this original person who had the idea, which may be funny, maybe not. Right. But they're to try to generate traffic or views on their videos, they'll just take that video and they'll lip sync to like spoken audio. Right. That's insane to me.
I haven't seen that.
Oh man, I'm gonna start sending you videos, and that's gonna be on your For You page. I'll make sure of it.
I think the most train wreck thing I probably watch on a social media platform is there's this kid that literally sings out of tune to every song, and he has a what's the thing when you sing into the tube and you sing into a tube and it makes a weird noise.
A vocoder or like a talk box.
Yeah, he just has it on his,
like the Peter
on his
Frampton.
desk,
yeah.
And he'll sing out of tune and he kind of like uses this as a mic, and then sometimes he'll put it in. Like every time like someone gives him something on TikTok, he'll say to them like, "Hey, thanks for the cowboy hat." But it plays it like as like a robot sound. And
like T-Pain.
Right. But like my girls and my wife laugh at me because I'll sit there and I'll just watch this guy, and it's just like I can't stop watching him.
It's a dumpster fire.
And half the time
you can't look away from a train wreck.
No. And I think half the time I watch him, I'm actually reading the comments.
Yes.
Because people are so hateful, and I'm just like, I can't believe people are saying this.
But he's feeding off that. Like you're feeding him.
Oh yeah. You're growing that platform. Like he'll have 5,000 viewers at one time, and then he's always like, "Hey, let's get to 150,000 double taps and 30 shares and 20 stars." And like he won't stop till he's there. But he gets there so quick because people are on it, and then I don't know how algorithm works, but maybe it throws it onto someone else's For You page because you're someone you know's on it or something, or some platform that you watch.
It has to be. Some of the stuff that shows up on my page, I'm like, one of my friends has to be looking at this because there's no way I'm getting this based off what I'm watching.
But I'll sit on the chair in our living room like while my wife's watching some DIY show or something. Mm-hmm. And I'll just watch this guy, and I'm like, this is so funny to me. Like, how in the world? And hey, props to you, dude. Like, you figured out.
Yeah, and I think it is important to say. I mean, like, you know what? If that is truly what impresses people, if that was truly what impressed people, but in my mind, I don't feel like there's two separate like categories of consumerism. Right. I mean, you're the people that you know what you like, you know what impresses you, and you're going to look for it.
Right.
And then there's the other brainless consumerism where you literally allow yourself to get spoon-fed whatever is in front of you.
Yep.
And that's, to me, stop doing it.
Right.
Just stop doing it. And again, like, if that guy truly impresses people, great. But does it really impress you? No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I mean, to each their own. Like for real. But I'm just saying, I think as a society, we're contributing to this lackluster. I mean, and it is declining, degrading.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's going to be such a decline that in years, all these production companies, all these people, Disney Plus, Netflix, all these people that pour money into content.
Oh yeah.
To excellent content. I mean, if you watch a show like Mandalorian, or you watch insert your favorite show here, they're going to stop making stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, you may call me like a conspiracy theorist or doomsday, like the Chicken Little, the sky's falling, whatever. But mark my words, if they realize they can get the same return on just doing nothing.
Right.
You think they're going to keep spending money on creating that kind of content for you?
Absolutely not.
So if we don't start as a society becoming more selective with what we allow to be like viral, or if what we allow to be like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, like out there, like then 10, 15 years, we're going to start seeing a lot different stuff.
Yeah. You're going to pay $20 to go watch a 2.5-minute movie.
Yeah.
At United Artists.
Yeah.
Reserve your seat.
Mm-hmm.
Not sponsored by United Artists.
We're not sponsored by them or Netflix or
Netflix
or Disney Plus. Oh my goodness. So, and I think part of like what I was saying about like that Facebook ad and stuff is like, I just don't feel like there's like public accountability. Yeah. Like nobody, like they'll just let it go.
Right.
Like they just let it slide. And I'm probably I'm going to scrutinize things probably a lot more than others, but I mean, come on.
Yeah.
At some point, the collective majority has to start saying, okay, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why are we giving that a place?
Right.
So.
And then I think there's those people that like do try to create authentic content. And then you look at someone else on the same platform that's doing, pretty much the same thing you're doing, but like you can, like for some reason they're getting so much more views, and it's like how in the world are they getting that when, I mean, we always think our stuff's better, right?
Sure.
But like there are
it's your baby.
There are some legitimate times where, the content that we're seeing the most of isn't necessarily, well, I would say it's never the best. It might be the most popular, but it's never the best.
And maybe one of my theories is people like to see like an underdog. People like to see what would happen to them.
Right.
And what's happening to those people, minimal effort.
Yep.
But they're getting a reward.
Right.
And is that not really what society kind of is right now? I mean, I'm not trying to get political. I'm just saying like right now, we talked about how we were taught to work hard.
Right.
And you would get something for working hard.
Right.
Now, I think people almost, whether it's subconscious or conscious, they're supporting that video because they're allowing that person to get a reward for minimal effort.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. That's just a theory, but,
I do think I'm going to start doing all my barbecue videos topless.
Please.
I think that's really going to help grow my platform. Sorry, Chef Jason. I mean, my one sponsor for barbecue. I'll be doing all your product reels with my shirt off.
I feel like you got to get a load of this guy. This guy, he smokes meat. He doesn't wear a shirt.
No, he did CrossFit 9.5 years ago.
I don't know if this guy knows the cameras are rolling, but he has no shirt on.
I don't think. I think someone told him those cameras are off, but they are on.
Maybe he's just trying to cool off.
Yeah, that grill has to be hot. That grill's hot.
This guy, get a load of this guy.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
But hey, if it grows, I'll be clickbaiting everybody.
I think a lot of ladies will tune in.
Yeah.
See the man meat, smoke some meats.
Oh my word.
But and along the lines of this, again, not trying to get political, but I mean, and I hate to beat the dead horse, but it's like fact check just doesn't exist.
Negative.
I mean,
it's feelings and opinion check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And it's like, just because this small group of people believes it. And I think that there is this, like, what do you call it? Like an illusion that this, like, very marginal opinion about things,
Right.
just because this group believes it, it means it must be true.
Right.
And it just goes against everything we know about objective reason.
Right.
So,
Agree. 100%.
and I think people saying I think people exploit this because obviously I don't think it does. I don't think it matters what platform you're on, but the more comments you get is always a good thing.
Right.
I mean, like, the more comments you get shows the engagement,
Oh, yeah.
but I think people will intentionally, they say something they know is wrong.
Oh yeah. To create the drama.
Yeah, they'll say something that they know is so wrong just because they want to see, like, the divisive comments.
Right.
Like, they want to see people just go at each other in the comments. I mean, we could make a video today. Like you could wear...
We could.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. We could pan these cameras around to the garage and see some of the flags, and people would just go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's okay.
I mean, but you could even say something like, even someone like that knows that America, again, there's people that believe that America is not the best country in the world.
Right.
To me, that's bizarre. Everybody's welcome to their own opinions. But America is the best country in the world.
Best.
We have freedom that other countries would dream to have.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but people, I feel like there's people that in their heart of hearts and in their spirit know that they are lucky to live in America, but they will still trash it.
Yeah.
Because I do think the majority of America does appreciate America.
Oh, yeah.
So they know that they're going to fire up that base,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're also going to fire up the other one that agrees that, like, America has systemic this and everything. Oh, yeah. And, they want to see the comment section blow up.
Right.
I mean, the comment section is probably blowing up right now in this video. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know, man. So just to reflect. Clickbait. What do you think? This was a good topic for first episode?
Yeah, it's honestly new. It's a newer thing for me just because I think you probably put a lot more thought into it than I do, but it's definitely real. It's definitely something that, social media has definitely grabbed onto to get people's attention, whether it's good or bad. But I thought this was great. I thought it was a great conversation.
And I think too, because, I mean, for me, I wouldn't even say, like, I'm, like, Republican.
Right.
I would say that I'm, like, libertarian.
Yeah.
And I don't know where you land on that.
Yeah.
But to me, I would never want the ability to do a lot of these negative things that I feel like we've pointed out.
Right.
I would never want the ability to do those things taken away.
Right.
So this is not like me saying, like, we should oppress these people. We should make it illegal to make dumb content, or we should, like, to me, as a fundamental, like, believer in the Constitution, like, do whatever you want.
Right.
But, like, wake up.
Yeah.
Like, just, like,
do better.
Do better.
Yeah.
Do better. Like, together, I think everybody has one vote.
Right.
And it doesn't matter whether we're talking about voting in an election or voting anywhere else, but on social media, like, you vote with your feet, vote with your eyes, vote. Like, we can change the content that gets rewarded just by waking up.
Yep.
And just saying, scroll.
Yep.
Nope. Report.
Spam. Report, block.
And I think that too is, like, I'm not trying to pooping anybody's Cheerios, man. Like, it's like, do what you want. Like, this is America, but just we can do better as a society. And it's just like, we'll be one step at a time.
Oh yeah.
That's how I feel.
I agree. 100%.
So thank you for listening to our first episode of W.E.W.T.
W.E.W.T.
That's the acronym.
That's
what everyone was thinking, W.E.W.T. And so thank you for tuning in. Any listeners that may be out there, man, we didn't talk about this, but I was hoping we could give like a teaser for the next episode, but we didn't talk about what we were going to do.
Is this clickbait?
This is clickbait. This is clickbait right here.
Hey, if you think this was bad, you should tune in next month.
Any ideas of what we would talk about next time? We can either lock it in now, or we can make it a mystery. But like, we can give them something to look forward to.
Well,
we didn't talk about
we
this.
We didn't discuss it.
I meant to discuss this.
Maybe
you.
Once this is posted on YouTube, we can see what people comment and make our decision off of that.
Okay. All right. So maybe we can make it like a game.
Yeah.
Like the most upvoted comment
is our next topic.
Unless it's dumb.
Unless it's dumb, then we'll decide what it is. We'll say what was the most voted topic, and then we'll either do it or we'll let you know we thought it was dumb, so we're not going to do it.
Yeah, I feel like we're like an oppressive, like socialistic government. Yeah.
Which is the beauty of having this YouTube channel. Is we can do that because we're the kings of this YouTube channel.
So where can they find us? We're gonna have some social media places. So obviously on all major podcast platforms, you're obviously found us on one because you're listening to this.
That's right.
But we'll be there, and so if you're watching this on YouTube, just know if you want the audio version, you can have that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. There's
iHeart.
Yeah, anything.
Google Podcasts.
Yeah, our podcast platform will upload it there, and they will send it out
to the masses.
So we'll have YouTube. I was thinking we could have an Instagram and a Facebook,
which will be managed by Sam.
Yeah, because I'm so good at it.
He's so good at the social media.
Basically, the only thing social media will be for to let you know that there's an episode coming out. So
one post a month.
Yeah, I was thinking we'll start with one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we can handle one a month. I mean, if it blows up, it's up to you guys. You give this some love, and we'll see what we can do for you.
And feedback. We're all about feedback.
Yeah, leave it in the comment section. We're gonna ignore it, but
good or bad. The haters will motivate for sure.
All right. Well, this has been episode 1 of What Everyone Was Thinking.
Right on.
All right. We'll see you guys.
See you guys.